Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. And it's finally time to talk about Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out. We're finally talking about her without the controversy. Which my last two videos on her was about the controversy that she didn't actually even do anything to create. It's just that one portion of Twitter that hates anime and will find anything within it to attack. It was that section of people attacking Uzaki-chan for her design, saying it's unrealistic, which it's actually not, and B, calling her pedo bait despite she was of the legal age of 18 when the show started. So, no. These people, they're wrong. But let's not talk too much about her controversy because she didn't even deserve it. Instead, we're actually going to talk about her show, which funnily enough finished exactly a week ago. And season 2 was announced pretty much straight away. And if you haven't seen the voice actor's reaction to the second season being confirmed, you really should. It's actually quite adorable. So yeah, let's get into my thoughts on Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out. So, we start off with our protagonist, Sakurai, who gives off some Ryuji Takasu kind of vibes in the way that everybody thinks he's always angry and always fierce because of the way his face looks. You know how everyone avoided Ryuji just because of the way he looked? It's kind of the same thing with Sakurai. He is in college, and then he meets up with his high school friend Uzaki, and she, well, I mean, the first thing we notice about her is her design, if you know what I mean. She's got two huge ones of those, and that's a very important part of her design. And she has just started the same college as Sakurai. And the whole point of her show is for her to pester and annoy him throughout the entire show. But as much as he says he hates it, he secretly he doesn't hate it at all. So Uzaki asks if she can hang out with him, and he's like, "Fine, go on then." And they do all sorts of different things. They play games at his house. They go out to places together, like the movies, of which Uzaki made a lot of fun of Sakurai because he was willing to see movies by himself. So Uzaki-chan started laughing at him in public. They went out to a store where there was a VR headset, and let's just say while Sakurai had the VR headset on, he may have grabbed something on Uzaki's body that he shouldn't have. I think you know what I mean by that. We find out that Sakurai actually really loves cats. They're actually kind of a weakness for him. And speaking of cats, there's this one cat, this grey cat that always appears at some point in every single episode, where it has a shocked expression on its face. if you've watched the show, you know which cat I'm referring to, where the cat, no matter what's happening, that cat is always there. I mean, the second episode, Uzaki gets stuck in some bushes, and Sakurai's trying to pull her out, but to everyone else, it looks like he's doing something a little bit naughty to her, if you know what I mean. That was one of the first appearances of that cat we saw. Then Uzaki finds out where Sakurai works, at a cafe not too far from his college. Of course, she just happens to walk in and see him. Makes fun of him for a bit, and then even starts working there herself. And the owner of the cafe hires his daughter, Ami. What is it in anime about girls being called Ami and having blue hair? Because we've got Ami in this show, she has blue hair, and we have Ami Kawashima from Toradora, blue hair. That's the second Toradora reference I've made. Wow, this show has more similar things to Toradora than I thought it did. And she straight away basically has the hots for Sakurai a little bit, but then she sees that maybe, just maybe, Uzaki-chan likes him, but she won't ever admit it because she's happy how they are. But she thinks that she's reached the jackpot. Of that, and she tries, along with one of Sakurai's friends, to try and get the two of them together. Cue beach episode. Yep, this show has a beach episode as well. So we see that Sakurai is quite good at swimming. Especially because he was at the swim club in high school, which is how he met Uzaki in the first place. But then Sakurai happens to fall unconscious. Uzaki tries to wake him up, and as he's waking up, he grabs that part of Uzaki's body again that he really shouldn't be, but yet he is. And that's not the last time he does that either. He does that at least one more time. Then, after Sakurai ends up getting drunk, he goes to sleep on the couch, and Uzaki goes near him, and then he pulls her into him and basically has her sleeping on top of him as she's not able to get out. But after that interaction, Uzaki feels a bit down and a bit creeped out by him. So he offers to take her to a festival. And the two of them start to reminisce about when they first met. Sakurai isn't feeling too well. So he lays on Uzaki's legs. And the two of them make up, as Uzaki was acting super differently. She wasn't her usual energetic, annoying self that she always usually is, and Sakurai really came to the realization that he misses that quite a lot. He kind of misses that. So Sakurai, Uzaki, Ami, and Sakurai's friend all go to this place that's basically a tourist attraction, for couples, which Sakurai and Uzaki had no idea that's what it was. Another scheme to try and get them together, which doesn't end up working. But it gives the both of them just the inkling that maybe, just maybe, they might just happen to like each other. And we don't really get much further than that in that episode. Then we have Ami and Sakurai's friend trying to telling Uzaki basically how she can get Sakurai drunk, because they know that's the best chance she has of him just saying anything without thinking, and end up revealing something he never would have if he was sober. And this comes straight after Uzaki and Ami caught Sakurai at a karaoke place where they started trying on cosplay outfits, and Sakurai ends up saying something he didn't mean to, where Ami's in a yukata and Uzaki's wearing a bunny costume. Basically, remember the bunny costume that Bulma was wearing at the very, very... Actually, no, it might have even been in the original Dragon Ball. That bunny costume that Bulma wore once, it looks exactly the same as that. But because Uzaki has such huge breeds, the bunny costume can barely hold them in. A little bit like in Konosuba, how Yun-Yun's dress can just barely hold her breeds in. Kazuma even makes a joke about that in the second OVA. But yeah, so Uzaki manages to get Sakurai drunk. Then she's not really listening as much to him. Then he says the word love, and she thinks, wait, is he confessing to me? But then he says, you're cooking, but she doesn't hear that. She never heard that part. And I haven't even mentioned Uzaki's mom yet. Sakurai goes over to Uzaki's house to meet her mom, and her mom basically thinks that Sakurai is either doing something with Uzaki that's inappropriate, or she thinks maybe he has the hots for her, which he doesn't. It's just a huge misunderstanding. Although Uzaki's mom is better looking than she is. And she's also one of those characters that majority of the time has her eyes closed and only opens them very rarely. A bit like Brock in Pokemon, always has his eyes closed, but rarely opens them occasionally. So then, Sakurai's friend goes into his house and sees that Uzaki and Sakurai are both sleeping, so he puts them in a futon, both sleeping in the same futon next to each other. They wake up and they see that they're right next to each other, but neither of them remember how they got there. Neither of them remember why they were both even there, and then they got into the same futon. Ami and Sakurai's friend see this as a gold mine they can use. And as they're on, and summer break then ends, and the new college semester begins. And Sakurai says to Uzaki that I will always be by your side. Then he realizes that she could misconstrue that, and he has to very hastily explain that he means, oh no, I mean like like we have been before, not whatever you're thinking. And Uzaki's like, well, what am I thinking then? And Uzaki says, I guess I'll have to oblige. And that's what concluded Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out Season 1. And pretty much one day later, Season 2 was confirmed. So that's going to be good. When will it start? Probably the summer of next year. Around the same time Rent-a-Girlfriend started, because both shows started and finished within one day of each other. So now let me go into the two main characters and what I think of them. Sakurai is, in a way, a bit like Kazuya from Rent-a-Girlfriend, in the sense that he's not a great protagonist, but he's not the worst. I mean, he just wants to go about his life quietly and peacefully. And Uzaki is the complete opposite. Always fun, energetic, annoying, but that's kind of the part of the point. I find it really strange that Aki Dearest said that Uzaki is super annoying, and she said she couldn't even make it through the first episode of the show. Now, in my opinion, she can't rate the show fairly in any way. She can't rate the show fairly in any way, because she didn't even give the first episode a chance, because she didn't watch it all the way through. It's like I bet she likes Umara-chan, which is kind of the same show, kind of the same concept as Uzaki-chan. But yeah, she hates Uzaki. Well, I guess her loss. As the show went on, I actually started to like Uzaki more, not less. I don't find her personality. I don't find the fact that her personality is annoying bad, because that's literally the point. If you find Uzaki annoying, then the show's doing what it's meant, doing what it wants to do correctly. That's what it's meant to do. That's the point. But yeah, some people call this show boring. I've fairly enjoyed it. This show wasn't as well liked as Rent-a-Girlfriend was this year, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm happy there'll be a season 2 coming up, hopefully next year. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on my social medias. And until next time, guys, catch you later.